On this Juneteenth day, I was on social media after I played a round of golf, and I saw this story right here. And I thought it was very interesting. Versus co-founder Swiss Beats Timberland secure distribution deal with Elon Musk X. The duo maintains full 100% ownership of the platform, with X claiming exclusive distribution rights. And so you see the photo here, the Linda Yaccarino, the CEO of X, and Timberland and Elon Musk and Swiss Beats, everybody all smiles right here. And so I saw this story. And so when I immediately saw this story, what immediately jumped out to me was, here you have a black entertainment platform, if you will, came about during COVID, was all about the culture, features black people, black artists, celebrating black culture, not just in the United States, from around the world. And it's going to now being distributed on a platform owned by a man from South Africa who, after he bought it, re-platformed white supremacists. This is the same Elon Musk who consistently promotes, retweets, and responds.
Okay, now for y'all who don't know, Elon Musk obviously is the CEO of Twitter. You know, he's the CEO of Twitter. And he bought the company, I think it's been about 2, 3 years ago now. Yeah, it's been about that long. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and finish watching the video.
To racist content. This is the same Elon Musk who questions the intellectual ability of black pilots. The same Elon Musk who questions intellectual capability of black doctors. The same Elon Musk who frequently attacks DEI. So is this what we mean by doing it for the culture in 2024? See, this is the issue for me, and it always bugs me. That when I often see these type of deals, I often ask the question, I wonder what it would look like if Versus decided to say, you know what, we're going to do this on Fanbase, a black-owned social media app. But let's say it's not Fanbase. Christopher Boozy, Spoutable. Spill. You've got Nate Parker, David Oyelowo's Mansa streaming service. Now, I hear this all the time. Black folks will say, well, you know, do they have the capability to do those things? Well, guess what? When you get more followers and you get more resources, then you're able to build capacity. I've often wondered why, when I look at
Now, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I've never heard of these businesses that he's talking about on these social media websites. Those three are new to me. I've heard of Fanbase. I'm a big fan of Roland Martin. I watch him quite frequently. And yeah, so I'll have to do a little bit more of my research. Excuse me for that. But he makes a good point. It's just it's unfortunate that a lot of black-owned businesses, like us being the culture, and you know, I think sometimes we don't consider the fact that people like Elon Musk, sometimes I think he does it for his own benefit. I think he just does it for his own benefit at times, and doesn't sometimes sees the bigger picture in black culture and how our culture expires. I mean, inspires a lot. Now you have, obviously, you have other creators and stuff like that on YouTube. From people like Joe Rogan to, um, yeah, people like Joe Rogan, Alex Jones, just fascinating people like that, which I'm a big fan of as well too. I watch a lot of those, but he makes a good point sometimes, and sometimes I don't agree with him too much. But I think that if if people gave other platforms more attention, and from my experience, being on Twitter, um, be honest, I mean, Twitter's okay. I mean, it's cool, it's whatever. But to be personally honest, I liked it when Jack Dorsey was running the company. He probably just got fed up with the company and couldn't deal with it too much. As far as like, advertisement, probably just a whole litany of things. So we'll go ahead and continue the video.
Present day artist. And I look at how many of them talk about black empowerment and talk about doing it for the culture. And I'm always asking, well, who's doing it for the culture? Are they cutting deals really where they get rich? Or is it actually for the culture? If Versus did this with a black-owned platform, let's say you take fan base, 700,000 subscribers. Let's say all of a sudden they did a deal with them. Here's what would be interesting. I can guarantee you Isaac Hayes III would have given Timbaland and Swiss Beats equity in fan base. That means that not only would they be owning the entertainment platform, they would be owning the technology platform. And they would be driving hundreds of thousands or millions of new users to, let's say, Fanbase or Spill or Spoutable or Mansa. And now all of a sudden, the value of the platform exponentially grows. I know some of you may say, well, who's done that? Well, I'll give a perfect example. Tyler did that. When Tyler cut a deal with OWN, and he brought his shows to OWN, OWN's ratings went through the roof.
He's talking about Tyler Perry, if you guys didn't realize. Yeah, I'm sure Tyler Perry could have did that with a lot of people. I'm sure 50 Cent could have did that with a lot of people. But the reality is that a lot of us black creators don't come together and collab on things like that, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, yeah.
When that deal ended and he went to BET, and he still has a BET deal. Oh, trust me, those deals are doing well because eyeballs are following. See, this is the thing that I'm always saying. Black people, our eyeballs go. But how often are we actually saying, let's bring black eyeballs to something that we own, that we control? Why make Elon Musk Twitter/X bigger and make him richer? See, at some point, consciousness, to me, has to enter into this conversation. To me, at some point, I would think and I would hope that you would have entertainers today who would be along the lines of Paul Robeson, Harry Belafonte, Sidney Poitier, Diane Carroll. When I think about Melvin Van Peebles, I can go on and on and on. Dick Gregory and others. It's called not just having a conscience, but being conscientious. And see, what we have to do is go beyond this idea of for and no more, or it's just me. A guy asked me this question, which I thought was interesting. We were having this discussion, and he said, well, let me ask you a question, Roland. He said, if you could do a deal where you made $500 million, or you and 9 others who who are in this ownership space could make $50 million each, which one would you take? I said, easy decision. He's like, what? I said, 50 million. He's like, what? Are you serious? I said, yes, I'm very serious. I said, see, what you don't understand is I understand collective. See, if I make 50 million and my boy makes 50 million and my homegirl makes 50 million, that's 9 other lineages. That's 9 other families. That, and all of a sudden, that's not one person keeping it all for himself. I say this all the time. I've told Byron Allen this. I've told other black-owned media owners this. One person can't eat it all. Literally. In the advertising space, Disney can't eat all of it. Comcast can't eat all of it. So why should we operate that way? I just really wish we had more black entertainers today who are thinking about their leverage, power, and influence and actually using it to build black-owned institutions. And here's the deal. Fan base is not only for African Americans. But if we have the ability, if you have an individual or individuals who have enormous following, how hard is it to say, you know what? I could do this deal over here, and we could do this deal and make a lot more money up front, or we could shift our following here and build something that goes way beyond verses. That's a platform. Last point, I'll say this before I go to Rebecca and Robert for comments. White America has always been fine when we were the show. If we singing on stage, if we dancing on stage, and if we hitting the ball, if we making baskets.
Now, okay. Now I'm gonna stop right there. I do agree to a certain extent. That we are sometimes the showbiz, as they say. The showbiz, as they say. But I mean, sometimes he has a point. I mean, this has nothing to do with with being racist or anything like that. Like I said, I'm a fan of people like Andrew Tate, Alex Jones, um, 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 even people from people like Eric Snowden, who got exiled from the United States for saying that they were spying on us. Even Joe Rogan, I watched Joe Rogan as well too. So this has nothing to do with race. I think what it has to do with is the simple fact that black people as a culture don't get the recognition in businesses and platforms that we build based on based on the culture. I mean, because it's like I guess practically what he's trying to say is that Elon Musk can buy a whole, like, people like Elon Musk, and I have nothing against Elon Musk. I love Elon Musk. I love SpaceX. I love it all. But you don't think that maybe um you don't think that maybe other platforms could probably get just as big as that platform? I mean, like, think about it. I'm sure there's free speech on fan base, and I've never signed up for fan base. I know a few people who had it and people who use it. They say it's a good app. Um, it's just the whole free speech thing is getting old. It's getting real old. Um, it's just getting old. It's getting really old, and I think we need to shift gears on this free speech platform thing, because you got platforms like Rumble, that are doing perfectly fine. Um, Obviously YouTube kind of trickled down and finally probably realized that, hey, if we want the revenue, and we want to keep this going on, we have to keep letting creators pretty much say what they want. Now, that doesn't mean going there, and, be disrespectful and, call people out their names and be racist and all that. No. But what it does is that it it makes people, it makes creators want to create more, which drives more revenue, on both ends of the spectrum. And I'm, I don't agree with Roland a lot on things, but I am gonna have to agree with him on this, um, just because of the simple fact, like I said, I just feel like, excuse me, my voice is kind of raspy. I just feel like, that yeah, we have to allow other platforms, or we need to start using other platforms, that are that are gonna forsake at the end, better us at the end of the day, and not just, hover over Twitter and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, it's like when Elon Musk bought Twitter, I mean, he almost made, it's like, to be quite honest, actually, I think I did a statistic thing, and I had to bring it up later on. But he's actually losing money. He's actually losing a lot more money, um, than I think he expected, and I don't think people realize that. You can go look up the numbers yourself, but he's actually losing money. He's actually losing a lot of money, actually. Um, so I'll just leave that there. Let me get back to the video.
See, we running the ball. Y'all, that's the show. They've always focused on the business of the show. And this, to me, is a perfect example of where I wish those two brothers, Timberland and Swiss Beats, had said, no, we're not going to bring this unique black cultural institution to a platform owned by a man who literally degrades black people on a regular basis. I'm sorry, you simply cannot get that. And I don't care if he put a bunch of money on the table. Because you know what? Wherever black eyeballs go.
That's what I was gonna say. I was just about to say that he probably offered a lot. He probably offered a lot of money. And think about how many people are gonna think how many people are gonna tune in to that. I mean, like, think about it. They did the verses on YouTube. I'm sure YouTube brought a lot of revenue in for that. But then you're gonna switch it over and bring it over to Twitter, and it's just like, okay. I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, I'm not that person. But I do think that if maybe, um, and who knows? I mean, I get it. I wouldn't do it for free either. But if Swiss and Timberland were smart, they would probably go on fan base and do it. Um, with a black creator, and not trying to, like I said, not trying to be that guy. But I think that, you know, we need to embrace, um, we need to embrace other platforms that can be just as big as Twitter, that can be just as big as YouTube, that can be just as big as, even Twitch. So, yeah.
Oh, the money follows. And I can guarantee you, if Versus was on Fanbase or some other black platform and it blew up like it, of course, we saw during COVID, the money would be there, the sponsors would be there, the advertisers would be there, they would be all there. Hopefully, more of us will learn that one day, where we learn to say, no, I'm good. I'm going to pass up the short money because I'm going to build something that could actually make me a hell of a lot more money than what you're offering me today.